Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen. Having a quick look at US oil or just oil overall. As you can see, we have broken down over this Monday at the moment. We are back into the zone. As you can see, we're looking at oil on a daily chart. We had a break above, we stayed around the zone for some time, and we broke under. Okay, so now that we broke under, this is the level that we had prior, and I said if we break under this, then yes, prove to me. Once we break under and stay under, then we're gonna go bearish and we're gonna start selling back, maybe towards this zone. Maybe this is still not done yet. We're not sure what's going on. But all I know, for me, this is the line in the sand. We're in a very big zone. We broke down from here. We started last night. We came in and now we're around this area. Are we going to come liquidate this zone? We have a gap over here to be filled, and obviously that is another area where interest might be. We know this is a big zone also, so this is a big level to look into. This is now going to be a big support level, the $67. So there is a lot of things that we have to think about when it comes to oil. With oil at the moment and everything that's going on, obviously peace talks and opening up of Strait of Hormuz and everything that's going on in the background, that is all good news for now. But the reality is there's a lot of things that's going to go into that. For example, even if the Strait of Hormuz is open, a lot of countries have gone into their reserves, so they're going to have to start re stacking up on their reserves. That's number one. Number two is those ships that come out of Strait of Hormuz. Are they gonna go back in there again after they come out? That's another thing to look at, especially with the peace talks that's gonna go on for 60 days, and you always have that shaky ground that any moment anything can go wrong and the strait could be closed again, because those what the threats are. You've got the American president who's not given a rest with his threats, and you also got the extremists in Iran also. Every single time Trump says something, they're gonna say, all right, strait's closed. So this is another thing to consider. And the third is, when there is demand, obviously prices will go up. And the minute there is demand for refilling the reserves and obviously being that uncertainty and all that stuff, and especially with some of those facilities in the Middle East have been hit. Some will take 3 to 6 months or even more to get back to the old capacity of production capacity. So these things have to be all taken into consideration. So you're gonna have supply and demand, uh, where there is gonna be quite probably, I'm not sure, but they're saying the supply could be a bit low because some of these places need to get refurbed, fixed up, rebuilt. That could take us into months of work. So supply could be a bit low, demand will be high, because most countries, for example, we take Japan, have gone into a lot of their reserves and they need to stack up again. So those are emergency reserves. UK, when Trump says yesterday, tweets about how Starmer in the UK didn't do a good job and he didn't open the North Stream, or sorry, not the North Stream, the oil pipeline that he had. He should have opened it to let oil flow, and that would have helped with the current situation that we were in before the Strait of Hormuz was closed. So anyway, we have to take a lot of things into consideration, and the most important thing we have to take into consideration is the fact that a lot of traders left oil alone, as Trump was manipulating it a lot with his tweets. And you can go back and check on these days where you see oil has gone down. For example, over here, on this day, on this day, on this day, any day that you see the market went down, just go and check True Social and see what made it happen. Okay, this would have been all peace talks, peace talks, peace talks. Great. I will delete civilization. No, I won't. We're gonna go and it's gonna be a great deal. We will go back into another deal. The deal's going to be signed soon. Negotiation is going perfect. I'm not going to attack them. The deal will be signed in the next 2 days. Done deal. The strait is open. Okay, so go and check the tweets. You'll see this is exactly what's been happening, and it is amazing how this market was so manipulated by Donald Trump that I think the big players, the actual major players that play oil, and I'm not talking about the insiders and his buddies, I'm talking about just people that actually trade oil on big levels and big amounts, and institutions and all those. I think they kind of stepped out of oil to predict it. They let it be. Maybe at some point they'll re-enter the market again because supply and demand is going to come in. Strait of Hormuz, insurance purposes for those ships, peaceful breakdowns, fragile volatility, everything's going to come back into the market. And another thing we're going to have to pay attention to at the moment is also the DXY, the US dollar. Now we're looking at the US dollar on the weekly time frame, and we had a little breakdown last week saying if we now hold this zone, it will be a great. Sorry about that, guys, and currently I am away, so I'm quite close to an airport. Anyways, as you can see, the DXY, this is the week that we will get a decider. Are we going towards these levels on the DXY? Are we going back to the 104 level? Or are we just going to fake out over here, maybe grab more people to think we're going buy side and start dropping back to the downside? That's something to take into consideration. So this week, I'll pay a lot of attention to the DXY and oil to see where we are in the markets overall. That will give us a good indication of everything that's going on around us. Thank you very much. Have a great day.